All right, we're live. Live in holy Brooklyn, New York, 2023. The world is still standing after surviving a pandemic. The control of all the media stations. Tucker Carlson got suspended, but he comes back with Twitter. Anyway, a lot of things happening. Actually, I wanted to. It's on my phone. But anybody has the names of the 4 people who passed away in Israel, who were murdered? So just that this class should be for the elevation, also dedicated to the elevation of those 4 souls. 2 young teenagers, 17 years old, and then 2 adults were murdered in Israel again, and it's enough. It's enough. The problem is that what are we really doing about it? It's another one. When are we gonna say it's enough? Die, Yenu. It's not only for Pesach, it's for everything. But okay, so what I want to talk today is really 3, but 2 main things. One is to speak about the land of Israel and explain why. It's connected to last week's parasha also, and explain why. And speaking about, as a human being, how to continue a bit what we spoke on Shabbos, which is the need to have a therapeutical type of life, learning to self-heal. Technically, if we know what to do, we don't need to go to a therapist or healers. You can heal yourself, because you and God, special connection, right? If you're a Jew, you may as well use that special connection you have as a Jew. Doesn't mean non-Jew cannot have a connection. There's a lot of holy non-Jews, but as a Jew, you have something unique, and you can have, it's easy pass, VIP, direct access to heaven. So, how do we deal with stress and negative emotions, trauma, and how to release it? Because as we have spoken before, is that emotions, anything you're going to experience in your life, any difficult moment, any darkness, which is meant to happen because you walk in this world, and this world is going to give you this challenge and this challenge, this challenge, this challenge. That's why we are here for, to get challenged. So if you're ready for it, then it's much easier to handle it. And on top of that, you become aware of the emotions that are coming to you, where you feel it in your body, and how to release it. If you don't do that, it gets frozen. Let it go. No, not this frozen. The frozen emotions of, you have fight, flight, or freeze. But for those who don't know, I work as a therapist also, so that's why, I always like to talk about those things. But the emotion freezes in you, and if you let it freeze, and you forget about it, it's going to stay, and then your body is going to start reacting at some point in your life, sometimes right away, sometimes later, and that's what we call trauma symptoms, PTSD, all that stuff that start coming out because you haven't dealt with it. But we're gonna speak about that after Israel. All right, now the house is full. Now we can start. Okay. Last week was Parashat Shlach, right, which is the sending of the spies to go into the land of Israel, and what happened? They came back and gave evil reports. 10 of the 12 leaders gave a negative report about the land of Israel. It's very hard to understand. If there were 12 princes, 12 leaders, how could they even do that? I mean, the whole point of going out of Egypt was to go to Eretz Israel. The whole point of Avraham Avinu, the first bris that first or second? Well, one of the first 2 bris, I forgot if it was Bris Milah or Bris Ben Abesarim. It was a covenant that the land will be inherited. We will receive the land from God. So, what happened here? And the reason is I want to go back to last week's parsha is because the last Sunday is when, in history, Moshe sent the spies to spy the land. As if to say that right now, at this very moment, ladies and gentlemen, if we go through a wormhole, right, back in time, and we know the reason we follow the Jewish calendar and the reason we have the holidays at the same times every year is because there's an energy happening at the same time. It's like all parallel universe. Anybody knows about multiverses? We are in a multiverse. It's not science fiction, my friends. It's not the Matrix. It's not just science or fantasy. It's real. It's real. Israel is real. Israel, Israel, Israel. Okay, just hint. Okay, gotta know how to decode the Matrix. But the idea is that during this time, the spies went into the land of Israel to spy the land, to see what type of land it is, and they felt ready. So that is since last Sunday. So today is like Tuesday, so Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So it's the fifth day the fifth day of spying the land. That means we are in an energy now where we're confronted or we are pushed to be more focused on the land of Israel, on our love for the land of Israel, on our connection to the land of Israel. I mean, what are you doing here, my friends? I know I'm here too. But I have a ticket. We should all have a ticket, at least in mind. We all have to understand that we are challenged every year with our love for the land of Israel. 40 days, the spies went for 40 days. The first day was Chavtes Nisan, Sivan, which was last Sunday. And what's the last day of the 40 days? No, but good guess. It's almost. You're close. You're feeling the hot. Very close. Yeah. Tisha B'Av is the 40th day. Why do we have Tisha B'Av? Because we spoke evil about the land of Israel. I mean, we completely missed out the gift that God wanted to give us. We had a total lack of trust at that moment. So, therefore, if we don't want to repeat the same error, we should have to be careful not to make the same mistake as the spies. Because if not, in 36 days, the temple will be destroyed again. Because the Chazal, the rabbi, says that every year that the Beis HaMikdash is not rebuilt, it's as if you had destroyed it that year. It's not that it's still destroyed that year. It's as if there was a temple today, God will destroy it again this year. It's very intense.
So the people who protest against Israel, don't they know that they're like destroying this nation again?
They don't. If they are real people.
They're protesting against the state of Israel. The land of Israel is not the state of Israel.
I know. They have their reason. They're not against the land of Israel. They're against the fact that it's a Medina, it's a secular state. Right.
The state of Israel.
Right, the state of Israel.
Yeah, but without the state, there's no...
No, I understand. And I agree. Raf, again, there's a big debate out there. The majority of the Jews say we should have the land. The Vinaga started 200 years ago, sent people to settle the land and to build the land. The Baal Shem Tov, and finally Rav Kook was the most, some say the founder of the religious Zionist movement. But whether or not it's the right time to go, we can debate about that. Overall, the majority of the Jews agree that we should all be in the land of Israel as soon as possible. There's even, I don't know if it's a Midrash or a Gemara that says this, if half of the Jewish people, or more, a little bit more than half of the Jewish people in the world were in Eretz Israel, instantly Moshe will come. That's pretty powerful. You heard that, right? So what does that mean? That means that when we are together and we are at the right place, the energy is building up. It's creating something. It's time and place matter. Numbers also matters. So the question is, how are we? What are we going to do? What are we going to do during those 40 days to be like Yehoshua and Caleb, and not like the 10 other spies? Right? Yehoshua and Caleb stayed alive and entered into the land of Israel. The 10 of the spies, Nissim, they didn't survive. By the way, for those who don't know, all the women survived because they were part of the spies. Women, they always survive somehow. If you can survive a birth, you can survive anything. But the idea is that that generation was. So let's try to analyze. The spies, their problem. What was their problem? And that's some of the commentaries. It's different ways how they explain it. But what made the most sense to me from the commentaries is that they were in the desert. They were living a very spiritual life, and you have those big Nessim, princes, leaders, with like much longer beard than me, looking much more holy than me, and they were holy and pious and everything. And they went into the land and they realized this is a complete different type way of life. I mean, have you seen the Israeli drivers? They were at the time it was camel drivers. But have you seen what type of life it is to be there? So they saw, when we're going to go there, there's no more, I'm a big rabbi, and I'm leader of my tribe in the desert and so spiritual, and everybody comes to me for advice. Right now, right there, we're going to be nothing. Everybody's going to start working on the land. People are going to go to business. It's not going to be just I'm going to be disconnected from my position of leadership. What am I going to do? I don't want to lose that. So I'm sure it was a little bit more refined than that, right? Because they were not stupid people. They were very holy people. But even to the holiest, the more you have a great neshama, right? The more you have a strong Yetzer Hara, right? So that's why I know I have a great neshama, because I have a terrible Yetzer Hara. Maybe I don't know. I can't compare with others. I don't know what it's Yetzer Hara. I know with myself. But anyway, the idea is that how do you look at yourself? Ask yourself, why am I not going into the land of Israel? It says in the Tehillim, Anarot Babel, on the rivers of Babylon, right? You know that song? Anarot Babel, which is said in Tikkun Chatzot, or before we say Birkat Hamazon. We say there, Im lo ale, from the wedding songs or whatever, Shwaki, Im lo ale et Yerushalayim al rosh simchati. What does it mean? If Im lo ale, it doesn't come up, Yerushalayim, on the head, on the root, at the source of all my joys. I say, what would make you the most happy human being in the world? Okay, find a husband. Yeah, okay. Oh, how to have children. Oh, to learn Torah, or to no. To have a Lamborghini. No. You know what? Wait a minute. If you like Andrew Tate, some a nice car and a cigar, but whatever. What is at the head of your joy? What should be the thing that you are looking the most in your life for? Yerushalayim. To be in Yerushalayim, to have the Yerushalayim rebuilt, the temple rebuilt. That's what should be the craving. You should have a Yetzer Hara for that. That should be your craving. That's what I'm waiting my whole life, is to see Yerushalayim rebuilt. It's not something, that's something you ever thought of? It took me 20 years to, really put it at the head of my joy. I like, head of my joy, I say croissant, baguette, something, oui, très bon. Shalom, Achi.
So are we supposed to want to
to rebuilding a Beis Hamikdash? Like, this is what we're supposed to be desiring
Absolutely.
at the foremost?
Because the destruction of the Beis Hamikdash, not having a Beis Hamikdash, means I don't have the relationship with God that I'm meant to have. It's like, should you want to have a home with a husband and all that?
Aren't we like a Beis Hamikdash?
We are a Beis Hamikdash. Yes, we are, and we're technically we don't need the Beis Hamikdash if we are connected to God. But the Beis Hamikdash is for the entire world, right? It says that it's going to be based Filati lekol hamim, that my house is going to be a house of prayer for the entire world. What should we really want in life? What should we want? You wake up in the morning, it's like, what should be our ultimate vision of what life is meant to be? Our ultimate vision, at least as Jews, it should be that the entire world is one unified species, and where we will all work together, Jews and non-Jews, to do the will of God. The Jews being the role models or the teachers of the Torah as to what God wants. That's what I want. When I wake up in the morning, my mantra is, today I'm going to change the world. Okay? Now, unfortunately, a lot of people don't believe they can change the world. If we all believe we can change the world, then there's hope. Now, who wants to change the world here?
You first start by changing yourself, and then you change the world.
That's the first world, the world. But the problem, if we only think like that, we never change the whole thing. You're right. You start with yourself. You have to work on yourself. But if I didn't want to change the world, I wouldn't be here tonight.
Right.
I'll just teach myself the Torah.
Thanks for coming.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for coming. The fact that you came means you want to make a difference in your world and the world in general. But we are trying to gain the clarity as Jews as to what we're here for, as opposed to just go, okay, I wake up in the morning, I brush my teeth, go to the shower, and then I go pray, and then I eat breakfast, and then I go work, and then I come home back, I go to the gym, find a shidduch, or you have the spouse or whatever, or you have the kids, and then you relax, dinner, sometimes a Netflix show if it's a good one, and then or a little meditation, some Zohar, and then Mariv, and you go to sleep. Wow, nice. I'll see you after 150,000 days of life where you keep doing the same thing and then you die. Otherwise, that was very exciting. Or you change the world. You make a revolution. French Revolution. Allons enfants de la patrie de jour de Waré. Why do you want? I just said something from David Goggins.
Yeah.
The toughest man on earth. He's cursed a lot, but he's a great guy. You check him out online. He has a great book called Can't Hurt Me. A lot of podcasts, whatever. But he says like that. Actually, Joe Rogan, he interviewed him many times. He loves it. David Goggins, he says, and it's not the first one to say that, but stop allowing yourself to be mediocre. Don't be average. Why do you want to be average? Be the black sheep. Be the one that sticks out. Be the one who does the revolution. We have too many sheep in this world. Very easy. You look at the media. Everybody fell for COVID and the mask. Nowadays, it's proven by the CDC that the mask doesn't help. And do you understand how we want to? Many say it was a global experiment to see how people react, so that they know how to control the world, the people in the future. New world order. Conspiracies. It's not for everyone. But the idea is that we got to know where we stand, and if you want to be average, who wants to be average here? Who wants to be great?
Be great.
Want to be great?
Yeah.
Isn't the way to get there by doing baby steps? Let's say that routine that you said, but if every day of those 150,000 days you're taking a step where okay, for these 30 days I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do this, so then you're becoming greater. Maybe sometimes I feel the goal of changing the world could almost be a negative Like, well, because it's like too much or too big.
Absolutely, you need to do it in a setter, in a order, in a way that it's not destructive, because it can become destructive. People who are too revolutionary, they create chaos and wrong. So you don't want to be too crazy, but you can be out there and do things that is out of the common way, normal. By the how do you say status, normal status, by the
Stand out.
right.
Good example is like a car. Sometimes you see car companies release cars that are like way over engineered, and then 10 years later you realize, wait, this is actually 10 years old. So it's the same thing here.
Right.
So
Right.
people
It's-
don't adapt to it right away. Yes, if you make a dramatic change, then we're not going to find it.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Slowly but surely,
You plant the seed.
most cars that companies have designed for the next 20 years.
Right. Yes. So we have flying cars technically. We have flying cars, but how it's going to look like? Or if people don't know how to drive, you're going to kick them for flying cars. We're in trouble. But if I would ask you, how do you see yourself at your greatest? How do you see yourself at your greatest? What do you see yourself doing at your greatest moment in life and the greatest position? What do you see? What are your dreams? What are your aspirations? What would you change? What's the one most important thing if you would start to change, if you could do the change? What would be? Not changing diapers. I'm sure. What would it be? Would you change hunger in the world? Would change how people deal with racism? Would you change leadership? What would you change?
It's just
No.
job matters. Just everything's got to be.
No, this leadership, I definitely.
all over. Every
What?
country is in a deep
Absolutely. What would you
And being
say?
a positive influence and helping people be more happy, because I feel just a lot of people are just sad, and you can just see it on their faces, and like they're just.
So, creating create joy
Yeah.
through a certain way of looking at life
Perspective,
or
like
perspective.
helping change people's perspective on life.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, beautiful. What about you?
I think similar, but like with confidence, like just people believing in themselves.
Okay. Changing the way people view themselves. Very good. What do you say? Sorry?
Changing the view on Shabbat.
I mean, creating Shabbat as
Showing Judaism as like showing the beauty of Judaism, not just the rules.
right. So you have like Kamsi, Sarit, the most exciting Shabbos in the world. And people, everybody goes to Sarit for Shabbat. It's like, wow, I didn't know it was possible to experience a day of Shabbat like that, and I'm flying, right?
Like
So-
spreading the joy of like Shabbat.
Yes. And by the way, you got to start thinking how to do that. How do you make people joy? Retreats, lessons you every day for like 5 minutes on all the broadcasts. This is the joy you deserve. Look deep inside of you. You have a beautiful soul. The inner child is pure. Whatever. You have to start thinking already.
Right.
Sisters.
Sorry.
What would you, if you could change one thing? What would you change the most? What?
Think about it.
Okay, don't think about it too long. Yamina.
I don't know.
The change feminism?
There's, you know what I feel like is going on right now? Toxic femininity.
Toxic femininity. Yeah, that's what I meant.
But I don't want to get involved in that.
No. Okay. So, no.
She just wants to choose a nice.
I know. I was just giving like just an example to wake you up. I know it will like disturb you. But what would you say?
I feel like on how people change their perspective about working. Like a
About working, work ethics.
Yeah, because you see people who are coming to work to just get paid.
Yes.
So it affects the performance.
That's
and
very true.
affects the guys that work here, every single day they're in a bad mood, and it makes it really unpleasant to be around them. Like I ask them to do something, I get like a huff. Like,
Welcome to America.
it doesn't, but it just makes it really unpleasant.
Right.
And then there's also some people who are like, I don't want to work, I just want to find a rich guy to support me.
Right.
It's like, why? Why can't, what's wrong with working? There's nothing wrong with it. It doesn't make you
Right.
poor, it doesn't make you less than.
Right, absolutely. No, I think that's a great thing to change. Understanding the value of work and bring positivity.
It also gives you like discipline, because you're giving you responsibility to show up. Someone's counting on you, and you can just flake and do it.
So-
Reflects more on your character.
And being,
Totally.
being a Jew at work is much greater than to be a Rosh Yeshiva in a yeshiva.
Can you tell me that?
What?
Can you say that?
Possibly. I say it on a regular basis. Because if you're a Jew
No,
at work,
You said it. It's you. That some people who are below, it's almost like they're stealing.
right? Yeah.
You said that?
That's I have said it.
Probably.
If they do it just for, in the sense that
In the
if
sense
they
that, like, they're-
if they only do it because they don't feel like doing anything else and they're in the system
It's an easy way out for them.
and
they're just milking their
they
shit
stay
out.
there just for the sake because they don't know any better. Meaning, I just follow the system, not because they're just meaning not because they're going to use that in order to teach it.
More
and all
like
that.
beta males.
What?
More like those guys that just don't like working. Like,
Yeah, exactly, same thing. Same thing.
It's
They do it
a
because
way
by
out.
default. They don't do it because they love to learn. They don't do it because they want to teach. These are.
they do it because it's simple
way,
and
right?
it's the easiest way
That's
out.
right.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's
What
it.
about mom and dad?
Again, it's not everyone. We can never generalize,
Or in
but
some cases, you're well.
People come for the paycheck.
right.
They don't care about the job.
Yeah,
They just care about the
yeah.
paycheck.
And one of the job is colorman, but not always. There are the authentic ones and the non-authentic ones. So that's a challenge. What? But yeah, no, that's good. That's good. My friend, what do you say?
I would change the fact that I feel like a lot of people try to impress other people and by doing so they're themselves.
You tired Brooklyn?
Yes, sir.
How they go to Lakewood for 5 minutes?
Yeah, you tired Brooklyn and Lakewood.
You
and
sit on the road.
You go to Borough Park and that's
Everywhere. It just depends what.
Or we're charged as the car you go.
Okay, very good. You?
I'm not. I don't have like a good mission statement, but probably like I would like more transparency.
Transparency.
In the world.
Right.
It
Oh.
would be baked into the cake. Would be good.
Yeah. You know, in a way,
Like
it's as if to like.
everything is just like you go anywhere. It's just like everyone's just lying to everybody. It's
true.
terrible.
No.
You can't do that.
No. Imagine that everybody will have access to everything that's on your phone and on the web. How people would change.
I wouldn't change it over here. Only
What?
there's not gonna
No, there are some transparent people, but not everybody is, you know.
Even on social media, everything is a lie.
Oh no, I'm not speaking about that. No, but I'm saying there's sort of people who themselves are showing just the way it is. They're not hiding things. They're not going on the dark web, whatever.
I don't know. I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about like, I don't know. There was a case with I think it was the Red Cross, right? It was a situation with the Red Cross. The guy just siphoned off millions of dollars.
Right.
The CEO of the Red Cross. Everyone's like funneling money to this organization, thinking they're helping society, and some guy just buying I don't know. a few
private
boats.
jet with that money.
Right.
Yeah, buying dumb things that people don't
Right.
need.
This was
Wait,
So
recent.
to target those head.
There was
Gates.
Huh? Bill Gates.
CEO
The
of
head.
a homeless
What do you mean, like the guy?
fit shelter that was recent-ish.
That's so sad.
It is
Yeah,
sad. It happens.
That's
on-
even worse because
Right.
that's sitting on.
Right. So what would you
Um,
change first?
I would want people that don't have children not to have a vote to say about the whole thing about genders. I think like also,
Oh.
I think
Wow,
that's
that's rough. That's rough.
They
Wait, can you dumb
a lot of people are just voting on.
You want
specific-
people that don't have kids not be able to vote
People
on.
would never
on
want
what
to
they
marry
want.
girls that can't
Yeah.
have kids. Or marry
Or
guys
what-
marry guys that
They
can't
can
have
vote.
kids.
They can't even vote on public
Why?
schools.
Yes,
They can vote on public school
yes,
boards.
that's what's going on right now all over the country.
That is so interesting. I didn't know
American
that.
people don't want to have kids.
No, I
That's
understand that, but I didn't know
literally
what's going on.
I have a lot of
School
customers
board.
in the city, and they're like, we don't want to have kids because what's going on. in the city.
Oh, well, that's a big thing.
That's one of the reasons we have such a declining population. Like it's gonna get into a big problem 20 years from now.
I mean,
Now we
starting
have
now.
COVID.
Right.
It's all done.
Because of what they're teaching in the school.
No, because we haven't
They're
we have a-
teaching critical
we have
race
a-
theory.
we have a-
They're teaching gender equality, and like one day
Oh, well,
the
it's
kid,
not
like
like
I don't know what my kid wants to be. Oh, you want to be an asparagus? Be an asparagus.
It
Okay.
saves you money.
And what the hell?
Yeah,
Is that,
I find the
you,
whole person at Disney
you saw
they
the
have
thing?
to credit it.
The guy who dressed as Caesar in the school board, he goes, I am Caesar! I am Caesar!
I have no problem against like what a person's sexual orientation
Right.
is. I had a Filipino guy who's gay who has a kid come into me and told me this last week Friday, right before the camping trip. And he was telling me, he's like, I don't understand why people that don't have kids have a say in the school system and what's being taught.
But
Kids,
at the end of the day, who's the one who makes the
it's, you know what it's like? It's like, let's say you have a kid, right? And the kid says, I want to be an adult today. Like, are you supposed to listen to that kid?
If you're
Like,
Disney,
theoretically,
no,
like, no,
no.
you're not supposed to.
Schools run like a
No, my
democratic.
friend said they went
based
to
on
Disney with 20
region.
people. They only
So,
identified as old
depends
people.
on
Like,
what
police,
class
I don't care if they're teaching that in
manager
public
came, they had to give them
I don't understand why they want
Politically
parents to
correct.
pull kids from school.
That's not the
They
issue.
see
They're
what it
trying to
is.
push this knowledge onto private schooling.
That's new. That's brand new.
No, it's been going
They're
on.
medically
It's been going on.
Yeah, it's been going on, and
It's
it's
been
getting
on.
worse.
It's-
It's going on.
It's been getting
It's like a system. It's
But
like
private schooling has like a-
infiltrate everything. It's
I think what I'm trying to say is I think that line that they keep pushing forward
Right.
has to be pushed back a freaking ton.
Yes,
Or they should
yes.
stop
You're
saying
saying
you
you
can identify as ridiculous
Like
stuff.
you don't have this happening in Russia, you don't have this happening in China, you don't have this happening in all these other countries that seem to be really bad.
No, what is
But-
Sweden went back. Sweden took all of it back.
Yes, they took it all
Sweden
back.
reversed everything.
Yes.
A bunch of states started.
Yeah,
Let's-
everywhere.
let's move
They
to
realized
Sweden.
it's unsustainable.
Oh,
No,
There's a few
I
states that are
think
pushing
at the
back.
end of the
Yeah,
day,
yeah,
the
because-
only like serious issue at hand is kids. Because tomorrow we're all gonna have kids.
Right.
I think that's the biggest issue.
I mean,
Okay,
that's
that's
all way
I like that. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Baruch, if there was one main thing that you want to change, what would you be in the world? I mean, you have? You have 15, 20 years max.
Think hard.
Abortion? Okay.
To change people's ideas.
To change the perspective of how they look at it.
Yeah, people don't see that as like pregnancy and giving life as an important thing. They think of it as
Right.
like having a vitamin. It's like have the
Take the cats, put in plastic bag, and right.
you have to change that. You first?
Yes, you first. You're standing.
What's not broken, don't fix it. I wouldn't change anything.
It's not
I mean,
broken.
Everything
Don't fix
everything
it.
is
No,
broken.
it's all
Please,
broken. But
like-
if you change one thing, you don't know what the chain effect is going to be. You're never going to have peace in the world.
But what do you mean? Things are changing every day.
But that's what I'm saying. Is if you change
We
one
changed-
thing,
we
then
cha-
it
they
happens.
changed Roe
You know
v.
the domino
Wade
effect, right?
recently.
Don't worry.
Pessimistic
You're
attitude is
thought
hard.
about it. It's very hard. Every city.
Okay, but so let's say you
So I'm gonna make peace in the world, right? I want peace in the world, right? What happens to peace? Just to find another way to fight. You'll never be
That's
peace.
true. So what is broken?
Because I personally like having a child.
About what is broken, what would be the first thing that you want to fix that is broken?
I mean, everything's kind of broken.
But
There's like a few things that are.
There's too many things. What? No.
what will start first? What are you most
People live
outraged
much
by?
longer.
You want people
That's
to live
true.
longer?
Yes, because I think a lot of
Why?
things-
That's probably
no,
even worse.
No, I think a lot of things
People,
that people
imagine
talk
people
about,
live
they're not
200
now.
years. People with the
Yes.
prejudices for another
Yes.
200
We're never
years.
done. Let them see it.
What?
Let them see the
What are they
world.
gonna
The
see?
wise-
That's just-
You know the wise people?
Minds would be like-
The older people
What?
talk about them as my days.
Do I what?
It's not broken. I would love to see that happen.
Taxes?
All of us.
They're like, what is
Who's
our
gonna-
money
who's gonna
being
pay
used
your
for?
road?
Do you ever ask that question on that
Yeah,
video?
so-
Like, what has it been used for?
Garbage collectors.
We know already that.
Who's gonna move your
Is
garbage?
there an IRS for the IRS?
Yeah, literally. There should be like supervision of everything.
They can't do
Yeah,
that, but
you have to destroy the government and start
they'll
from
teach
scratch.
you a tax.
What?
You're French, right?
Yeah.
You guys had many revolutions. You know what it's about.
Oh yeah.
They had used to-
There's all system, politics and system are similar. What?
I think it would change like
Yeah, she's saying.
Then our next leader in the world is speaking.
I think I would change like how other people view each other. I think there's like a lot of hate in the world and people don't like to see the best in other people a lot of times.
Okay, beautiful. How? Okay, and Kimo.
Ariel.
Arya. I have a. How would you change? What's the first thing you would like to change in the world with everything that's going on? What's the most?
In my personal opinion, I think things went shot up after COVID. I think people became depressed, and during that time, those years, 2 years, people were just like, you know, our normal life is now screwed up.
Right.
It's upside down. And people were like, you know what? Being a rainbow is now normal, and you can be a mask, you can identify as a mask, and you could, I could identify as Dr. Fauci, and I could identify as COVID-19. But you know, the world became, in my personal opinion, I support everybody, I'm not homophobic. It's a severe mental illness that's going on right now. That's my personal opinion. It has a lot to do with the governorship of the United States, the president, and what's normal in this country.
Right.
And it's schooling, it's education, it's the financial system. It's a combination, it's a domino. And because we have someone that's irregular and that's in charge of our country, like,
Non-functioning.
Right.
he's a puppet.
Right. And everybody knows about it. That's the scary part.
The guy's with Alzheimer's.
But he's running for 2024.
Right.
Bro, you try
So no, I
at
agree.
his age.
We can't make it to that age. They
Sure.
can't find me.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
First I'll make it to 90 and then I'll run for president. I got you.
No, so guys,
First to get 90, then you have to get
What I would-
You saw-
What I would definitely change is, you know, in my personal opinion, we're the Jewish community. We don't need to change anything because we have a certain guideline.
right.
We're taught certain things in yeshiva, but now it's a fear that every single person has in this room. It's a fear that every single young adult, when they're married and single, whatever, calm down. Okay, so and just like it's a fear that our kids and our offspring, it's just like I wouldn't enforce the same exact rules as my parents did. What's going on here?
No.
No. It's,
Right.
I'm just like, I'm keep my kids in yeshiva. I wouldn't allow them to go on social media until a certain age.
Right.
I wouldn't enforce. I wouldn't give technology and that chance to corrupt kids.
Right.
Going forward.
I agree.
Yeah,
I don't know how that's working on the parents.
I'm not getting
I'm
a
not a
child.
parent. I don't know what they're doing.
It's very hard.
Lose.
No. It's in our Jewish school
Lose,
system.
right? There's no shot they're winning against the phone.
There's no what?
I can't even win
That's
against
why
the
they keep on
phone.
trying to
No. You have to know how to educate your kids.
It's not happening.
The only thing I got is that I grew up without the phone,
I
so.
agree with you on that.
But even,
I mean, Steve Jobs said, "I would never give an iPhone to my son."
there's no way.
The first phone I got, I was 17 when I got it, and honestly, I didn't need it beforehand. I only needed it once I started
What
working.
is the
Right.
You get iPhone at 14, yeah.
Boris, you have
You get family bundles at 14.
Okay,
I'm not doing that.
let's start to regroup.
That's why they keep on trying to
Yeah, but I
shut down
know there's, like,
yeshivas
peer
and Catholic
pressure and
schools.
stuff.
Religious freedom is becoming like illegal.
You know what I would
Right,
change?
right,
I would
right,
bring
right.
back phone booths
Phone
and
booths.
give my kids quarters. That's what I would change.
I don't know why you want phone booths.
I like that. But you see how each one of you were actually very passionate about something.
Yeah.
Okay, so and each one brought a kind of a slightly different changed. Meaning there are things you're passionate about, there are things you have seen certain evil or darkness in the world, certain problems. Who better than the one who is most bothered by it to change it? That's what's going to make you into the black sheep, and the one who is going to make the revolution about that. Bring the joy in the world. Bring true love. Bring morality. Bring the phone booths. Change the leaders, and
They won't allow it, right?
you know, and unless we believe in ourselves, it has to do with believing in ourselves. Like, am I the one who's going to make the change? Yeah, why not? If you believe in yourself, what, you're going to wait for someone else to do it? במקום שאיש ישתדל להיות איש, in a place where there's no man, be the man.
That's actually a quote, be the change. That's actually a thing.
Right, it's I mean, be the change you want to see in the world, Gandhi, but he stole it from the Torah, whatever. You know, I mean, you know, it's there. It's there. We need to believe in ourselves, and we need to see that we make a difference. So
I think I'm the manliest man working in this cafe.
I'm very sure about that.
I'm unclog the toilet because these guys can't do it.
Right? No. Yeah. No.
You really
It's
work
be
here?
the change.
Yeah. She's really working.
I'm a manager here. I just
You guys gotta fire those people.
made the guys put on beard nets today. They hated me.
Oh, I've done that before.
They looked like clowns.
Oh. Well, you know, if you start smiling and being positive, you can remove it.
The beard nets?
Yeah.
No, it's
No,
like,
they
it's
can't.
according
Oh.
to
Okay, so all right. It's very easy. Just shave your beard. That's it. You don't have to wear one.
That's what I said. You can get a haircut.
No.
Yeah,
Mexican with a beard? That's weird.
It's like a little scraggly beard.
Oh. Yeah.
But if you're gonna have a beard, work with your food.
Okay, so let's go back into focus. So the idea is guys, you can share. You can share. So the same thing. There's Al Rosh Simchati, that Yerushalayim is at the head of our joy. What is at the head of your, ability to make a difference? We have to make a difference, and we have to try to move forward. Okay, this is what I'm most passionate about it. What can I do about it? Because I can't stand, but maybe I do it with myself sometimes, people speaking about a topic, and they're so passionate about it, and they don't do nothing about it. Oh yeah, this is really... Okay, but they don't do anything about it. Like, so what? You're just talking. You just like to have an opinion. It's your ego. You want to be noticed and recognized, but you're not doing anything. You want to do something about the kids. Do something about it. You want to do something about the pollution. You want to do something about the, whatever. It doesn't matter about the phone booths. Then do something. But too often we're hypocrites, and I'm speaking to myself. We say, "Oh, this should be done." Okay, so do it. Well, we have to be so. Parashat Shlach. I don't know how we ended up here.
Phone booths.
being the change.
Being the change, but the idea is that we were about to go into Eretz Israel, and we were the people pushed by the leaders, because the people accepted what the leaders said, right? Even at the time, they accepted what the leaders said. They said, no, you don't understand, we're not ready. Like, think of yourself now. I'll take myself as an example. If I go to Israel, here I'm like, I'm a rabbi, I have 13 students, come on, Rabbi G. No, I go to Israel, I have a lot of cats coming, Cats, sorry, a lot of cats, yeah, all your kids. Nobody knows me, right? Even as a therapist. So here I have a client. I have clients. I have a name. People call me, but in Israel, nada. I'm a zero. I'm a nothing. How many people are ready to start from scratch? And we know going to Israel is not easy. The work is hard. It's harder than America. How many Israelis come here to make money? Tons, right? And so yes, in Israel there's more pressure, there's more religious fights and separation, and you have the Chilonim and the Charedim, Neturei Karta and the whatever, all the different branches of Judaism, and you have the terrorists and all that. It's a real thing. So, am I ready to do that? It requires to have a real desire, a real love for the land of Israel, and seeing what's unique about the land of Israel. Living in Israel gives you a different type of soul, says Rav Kook. Rav Kook says each time you go, the first day you go to Israel, each time you go and you sleep, in the morning you wake up with a different neshama, as if it's like Shabbat, neshama yitera. You connected it differently. We know there is the direct connection. It's better than Verizon Wireless, straight direct connection to God. Here you have to bypass, all the Biden broadcasts in the thing. You have to go through all those firewalls and all that to arrive finally. That's why we pray towards Israel. To pray has to travel all that and go through the angels of the country, and then finally can go towards the Israel and then go up. In Israel, it goes straight. It's the red phone, how we call it?
Direct line.
Direct line, So we have to understand that the land of Israel is something precious. We have to fall in love with the land of Israel. You have to get excited about the land of Israel. You have to have a craving, like, I can't wait till I go again to Israel. I can't wait to see the temple rebuilt. Every wedding, what we do, we break the glass, right? At one of the moment, there's the happiest moment, technically. Not the happiest, one of the happiest. We break the glass. Why? Because careful. You have to remember that that's not the greatest joy. The greatest joy is to be in Yerushalayim with the temple and all that. Same thing before Birkat Hamazon, at the moment where you're the most satisfied enough after a good meal, like Sholem, all that stuff. Then you say, Aneos Babel, whoa. Remember, that feeling of being satisfied and satiated feels very good. But understand that that's just a glimpse of the true joy of being satisfied and the true good in the world. That's the temple. To be in Israel, we should all be in Israel. So during those 40 days until Tisha B'Av, work on that. Work on how you look at the land of Israel. Work on that desire, that love that we should have to live there and to move there or at least Rav Kook says, if you cannot go yet, because you cannot just go blindly and you're going to be a disaster. You have to be smart also about it. But if you are praying for it and you crave to be there, you're considered as if you are there. You are where your thoughts are, says the Baal Shem Tov. So you're not responsible for the destruction of the temple again, because you have that craving to go there. So think about it, and try to work at it. Ooh, okay. So that was for the first part that I wanted to share. Now I'll share something much shorter. But I'm gonna cut it in two, like it's two different topics.